Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining. My name is Greg, and what you see behind me is the Pacific Ocean because I am in Los Angeles, and more specifically, actually, in Venice Beach. So today we're going to be talking about a few of the sights and fun things to do in LA, the City of Angels.
Okay, we're here at Venice Beach because the theme of today's blog is affordable things to do in LA that are relatively cheap, actually. There's actually fun things to do that you don't have to spend a ton of money, like coming to Venice Beach. It only costs you a parking fee, which on this particular day was $9. You can spend all day as long as you want. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of people watching to do. There's street performers, there's street artists. You can stop in a lot of these different shops that are lining the boardwalk. If you want a cheap souvenir t shirt or short shorts or underwear, like, hey, there's a place for you there. You can stop and look at some of the different shops. You can certainly go on the sand, have a picnic, go in the water, go swimming, do any of those kinds of fun family activities. You can even do some bodybuilding because they have equipment right here on the beach. You can be on the sand. It's pretty world famous, Muscle Beach, as it's called, and there's always people around to work out with and maybe even get a few tips on seeing what they're doing. Or you can also go take a look at the skate park where there's not really professionals, it's open to anybody, but there's certainly some really great, talented younger people that you could watch and marvel. And of course, if you have your own skateboard, well, maybe you can even join in if you want to. So that's another opportunity. Now, after all the excitement of Venice Beach, let's go over to the Venice Canal area, which is just a couple blocks away, and you can just walk over there. The canals were built by a developer, as my understanding, who built some of the little bungalows that are along the canals. These little bungalows, by the way, are about $1 million properties, but you can still walk through them because the sidewalks on either side of the canal are open to the public. There's little bridges you can cross, walk from one side to the other, and it's a really quiet, peaceful neighborhood to walk through and very unique. Okay, it's time to head for Hollywood. Why? Because you can't go to LA and not visit Hollywood. And it's not that expensive, actually, to go and at least walk along Hollywood Boulevard and see what's there. You got the Chinese Theater, and of course, don't forget to look down because you'll probably be walking on top of some of the famous stars in the sidewalk. The stars are the stars, and you can find your favorite actors or movie stars or singers. You can also look in front of the Chinese theater where you can see the footprints and the handprints of some of the stars actually set in concrete. Another thing is if you go a few blocks away, you can walk past the Paramount Studios. Now, a studio tour costs a fair amount of money, but if you don't want to spend the money, you can at least get your picture taken in front of the gate to Paramount Studios on Melrose because that's free. And then while you're there, go around the other side, a couple blocks away, and go to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. And yes, it's a little bit odd, but hey, it's free. You can drive in, park, and walk through and see some actually beautiful scenery and landscaping and some rather famous movie stars, singers, entertainers. There's a mausoleum on one end that is actually really spectacular if you like architecture. It's very interesting. You can walk in, and if you don't mind being around several hundred dead people, well, it's something that might be fun and interesting to go see. Now, if you worked yourself up an appetite, I would recommend going over to the Grove, which is a few miles away from Hollywood, but it's an open air shopping center, pretty popular with locals, lots of shops and stores. But one of the cool things is they have a market here where it's a food vendor, food market, food stalls, lots of different options. Really great different types of foods, any kind of ethnic foods, burgers, whatever you want. And at the end of the night, all right, let's go back over to Hollywood Boulevard and look at it at night. It's cool. The lights, the action, there's plenty of people there, mostly tourists and people selling to tourists, but it can be fun. And hey, it's a once in a lifetime thing, and it's free. And by the way, if you're into music and the old school vinyl records, stop by Amoeba Music because it's there. And then, before you go back to your hotel, stop at Pink's, which is a few blocks away, and it's one of the most famous hot dog stands in the area. They also have burgers and fries and things, but their hot dogs are really, really famous, and they're actually pretty good. Okay, another day, another place to visit. That's not going to cost us anything. We're in downtown LA now, and we're going to go to the Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles. That is free admission, and a lot of unique art if you're really fascinated by both paintings, sculptures, unique kind of works of art. Hey, take a look at here. It's, as I said, free, and you can wander through, see what you like, or if you what you don't like. And then right across the street from that museum is the Broad, which is another contemporary art museum. It is also free, but I do recommend you get the time tickets in advance because there is a long line to get in if you don't. Next, we're going to head a couple blocks over to the Angels Flight Railway. Yeah, there's a railway in downtown LA, and it's a, what do you call it? One of these trains where you can ride it up and down the hill. It only costs $1.50 for the fare. Of course, the trip itself only takes about a minute, so it's not too lengthy. But hey, the kids will love it, and it is an authentic old car that you ride in, and on the rails. You'll see inside, if you're riding, it's all wood, it's rattly, it's bumpy, but it's real, and it's pretty cool to ride it up and down. You can just take the stairs and walk alongside of it, and that's for free, but it's not quite as exciting as actually riding the train. And it doesn't go that fast, so don't worry, your kids won't be scared. Now, when you get to the bottom, if you rode up and then go back down to the bottom, and like I said, it's only about a block, so it's not doesn't take that long. But once you get down to the bottom again, right across the street is a place called the Grand Central Market, and that is a really extensive food hall type of place with a ton of different. And when I say a ton, I mean dozens and dozens. You might be actually overwhelmed by the selection. There's so many here in this Grand Central Market. But if you're looking for food, it's a good place to go. It's not elegant, it's not quiet, but it's relatively reasonable, and the selections are incredible. So it's a place to check out if you're in downtown LA. All right, next stop, another free museum. This time it's the California Science Center. And before you go inside, make sure you look outside because there's a bunch of airplanes on display. That's really pretty cool. And about the only cost is to pay for parking again, which is, I think it's about $20. But once you get there and you get inside, hey, more airplanes. signs, yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of different exhibits. There's some changing exhibits, so they might be different by the time you get there. One of the things that they do have on display, though, is their aquarium, and that is really cool. You have to sort of find your way to it. It's not immediately obvious how do you get there, but follow the signs, you'll get there. You can go on top of the aquarium and see what the water looks like from the above, and then you go down a set of steps or an elevator, and you go through a tunnel, and then you're in a little space where you can actually sit down. They have some stands, and you can sit and watch, and kids love it. Everybody loves it. It's a great place to hang out and relax and watch the fish go by.
So there you have it, a little bit from the Hollywood, Los Angeles area. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the like button. And if you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button, and we'll have more.